guest is an Indigenous artist, designer, and television personality from the Bigstone Cree Nation in Treaty 8 territory in northern Alberta. And this year, he won a Canadian Screen Award for his show, Indigenous Art Adventures. Joining us from Edmonton, Alberta, everyone, please welcome Lance Cardinal.
Hello, thanks everyone. Hello out there. So nice to see you all.
Oh my gosh, Lance, thank you so much for being here and joining us today. First off, absolutely huge congratulations on your CSA win.
Yes, of course. Oh my gosh, something I'm so proud of. What an exciting night that was to win that award. Absolutely incredible.
It was so amazing. Honestly, your speech, it was so inspiring. It was truly a highlight of the night for me. And meeting you was such a delight that night. You won for Indigenous Art Adventures, which is huge. You started that online during the pandemic. Can you tell us a little bit more about that show?
You know what? During the pandemic, I was kind of trapped in the city, away from my family and my nieces and nephews, and I really wanted to connect with them in a certain way. So I thought, I'll do some videos like online. I'll put them on Facebook or wherever and make little crafts, and I can still work with them, from a long distance. And I thought we could use stuff from around the house. Yeah. Nobody has to leave, so I used egg cartons, milk cartons, whatever I had at home to make some crafts. And you know what? It started to get really popular. Yeah. I started doing a weekly segment online to my friends and family. Then the public started doing it, and you know what? It became a big thing. And that's when I was asked to bring the show to APTN.
Yeah, it's such an amazing program. In every episode, you bring in your Cree heritage, you bring in language, you bring in art. What do you think it is that makes art such a powerful medium to teach everyone from kids to adults?
You know what? I think the best part about visual art and being creative is being able to express who you are, to talk about things in a way that you might not be able to with your words. Like asking a child to paint a picture or draw, a picture of themselves, how they're feeling that day, what they're going through that day, how they see themselves, how they see the world. This language is so important, especially when we're talking about reconciliation. Yeah. Sometimes reconciliation is about healing ourselves, and that can be a bit of a difficult conversation for children. And I think sometimes sharing culture in a good way and language in a good way and reassuring kids that they are important, they're beautiful and seen, that helps towards healing that reconciliation journey.
Yeah, it definitely does. It's such amazing work that you're doing. Like, it's absolutely beautiful. Now, you also bring Indigenous imagery and art to kind of high-profile spaces through your design and consulting firm, Soulflame. So you've worked with the Edmonton Oilers on their Turtle Island logo. You've worked with IKEA Edmonton on their First Nations mural. And you've said that this work has really helped kind of pave a way for a new era of reconciliation. Can you tell me a little bit more about what that means?
You know what? I always think it's really important for us to bring Indigenous into these mainstream spaces. It's a place where people, celebrate, where they have fun, where they, do some shopping, where they spend their time with their family. And I think having this stuff there to talk about, to be integrated, means that it's a part of our society, that it's accepted, that it's important. Bringing that space to IKEA was so cool. We have an Indigenous room there that is an Indigenous family showcase room with a Northern family's lifestyle in that room, with language and traditions, as well as contemporary lifestyle. And I love that idea. Yeah,
that is really, really amazing. Again, like you said, bringing it into mainstream places, because it is part of the mainstream, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, another way that you actually showcase your artistry is in miniatures. And later today, in fact, a replica that you made of the residential school that your grandparents went to is being inducted into the Royal Alberta Museum in Edmonton, which is absolutely amazing. You're going to be speaking and actually screening a documentary about the creation process. Can you tell us about that process and that art?
Yeah, of course. You know what? I do miniatures as a pastime, as a hobby. Yeah. Actually, recently I was on the Best in Miniature reality show and got right to the end. Yeah. And it was really cool. And so, that really made me see that I could create stories through my miniature work. And, I found an old photo of my grandparents. I was scrolling through some photos of residential schools in my area, and I found a photo of them getting married on the steps of the school. Wow. They were 15 years old. They met that day. They were married that day and sent out into the world. And it was really quite crazy. And I thought, what an amazing thing to find. So I wanted to create this building, this structure that was the first place that they met. It was the first residential school in my home community, and sort of remind people that this history is still happening, that these people are still here, that, that this was a part of our history in Canada here on Turtle Island. And for me, my own personal journey, having that on display at the Royal Alberta Museum just shows that they find importance in that history. And talking about it that day is going to be amazing. We're going to talk about the history of making it and also my experiences creating that piece.
That's absolutely fantastic. Well, best of luck with that. I think that's happening at 1:30 today at the Royal Alberta Museum. Lance, thank you so much for everything that you do and for spending time with us today.
No problem. I love you, Ross Mary. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Talk to you soon, Lance. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.